Hi, everyone. And okay, well, we usually start with a short moment meditation or resting naturally together. You can close your eyes and or keep them open. That's fine. Short moments is possible in any kind of position and way. Okay, so you can take a couple of deep breaths. And relax the body and mind just naturally, just as it is. And allow all the thoughts and emotions and the sensations in the body to come and go. And we rest naturally as the vast, open intelligence that's naturally present as everything. When we just stop thinking for a moment, what remains is a clarity, alertness, power to know, a natural presence that is also available when we're thinking, which we are probably having some thoughts right now again. And that's okay. It's not the goal to have no thought. We recognize open intelligence in a short moment. Short moment of open intelligence. Well, just simply resting the mind and body. The mind is vast like the sky. And the thoughts, they come and go like the flight path of a bird in the sky. It leaves no trace. Or you can imagine a rainbow in the sky. It's very colorful. All kinds of colors, sometimes very bright, vivid, and yet non-existent. We cannot grab onto it, and it vanishes, leaving no trace. That's true for all our thoughts and emotions. Letting all these thoughts and feelings be as they are, appearances, and open intelligence. The metaphor of the crystal ball is another one. Our mind is crystal clear, like a crystal ball. Just imagine all the reflections in a crystal ball. They don't leave any trace. They don't scratch the clarity of a crystal ball. And forever changing reflections. And the crystal ball is indestructible. Like open intelligence, our mind, indestructible. So we can rest as the indestructible essence of our basic state. Something that is ultimately reliable. Take a short moment throughout our day right now, and whenever we remember to do so. And you can focus again on your breath. Come back to the meeting here. Open your eyes in case they were closed. Today we actually took a part of one of the books that contains teaching talks that Candice Rinpoche has given, we have collected over the years. So, and they're partially of the teaching. So we thought we read that, and those of you who would like to join into the reading, we could have that too. So Jochen will share it on the screen. And we just thought we read a chapter or a couple of parts of the books, and can later share further questions and our experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'd love to hear also from anybody who's been here before, if you've started practicing or continued practicing, hearing your experience, or if this is your first time, maybe learn more about you and your background, and what brought you here. But to start, we'll share maybe a couple pages or so of the text to tune us all into that.
So, part 1. Confidence in open intelligence is strengthened through the practice of short moments of open intelligence, repeated many times. By virtue of that, certainty about open intelligence is gained in your own experience. By the power of short moments, many times, you come to rely on what is genuine, authentic, authoritative, and convincing within you. Then, life becomes a lot easier.
When you emphasize open intelligence rather than data, you open up to the great unifying ground of peace and open intelligence that is the same for everyone. Wherever you are, by the power of gaining confidence in open intelligence, you're automatically being beneficial. First, you're beneficial to yourself, and then by the power of open intelligence, you're automatically beneficial to others. You start to really care about yourself and about everyone in a very natural way.
No matter what appears, it has no nature independent of open intelligence. Nothing has ever existed independently, separate or apart from this basic state. To take short moments of open intelligence is to allow everything to rest. In allowing everything to rest in open intelligence, it becomes obvious that everything is inseparable from the basic state and is a source of well-being and ease. Liam, you can read further. I don't see anyone for now. Mm-hmm.
It all begins with recognizing open intelligence within yourself. Then you become convinced that open intelligence for everyone is possible. Short moments of open intelligence, repeated many times, become obvious and continuous. We choose for open intelligence to be obvious to us or not. Moment to moment, open intelligence is the most important choice we will ever make. The openness of open intelligence gradually brings the discovery of innate warmth towards others and the desire to benefit to them. We discover this by the power of relying on open intelligence, the one simple change that makes life easy. There is nothing else that need to be done about data streams. All data are naturally clear. We rely on the power of open intelligence in our everyday life.
Simply relax. Data are countless, ceaseless, and unpredictable. If you try to base well-being on rearranging or controlling the flow of data, you'll be lost in an endless world of labels and descriptions. Simply relax. Relax body and mind completely, no matter what datum appears. Everything is totally free in the perception of it. Everything provides us with a simple choice to recognize open intelligence or not.
Simple solution. Everything you think of, every emotion you have, every sensation, and all other experiences, which just we'll call it all data. So when you hear the word data, so are simply, oh, that's a necessity, are simply data appearing in open intelligence. The more you think about it, the less you'll instinctively realize it. There's not a single thing to think about. Keep it totally simple. If you do, you'll end up smiling a lot. That's why the instruction is short moments many times until it's continuous. The solution is so simple, why not try it?
Complete relief. At the very moment data forms, rely on open intelligence, serene and spacious. By the power of relying on open intelligence, its recognition becomes increasingly obvious, and the data vanish naturally, like a line drawn in water. By repeatedly relying on short moments of open intelligence many times, it becomes obvious and continuous. There is no need to alter the flow of data. Because of the habit of emphasizing data, the initial brief moments of open intelligence may not last long at first. They may almost immediately slip away. In other words, there may be no real stability. Many times means that we need to grow more and more confident in open intelligence by repeating the short moment. This is a key point in gaining confidence. The heart of the matter can be captured in the phrase, short moments many times becomes obvious and continuous. We find that emphasizing data streams, excuse me, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. It's nice to hear you.
We find that emphasizing data streams provides only temporary relief. It is never a permanent solution. We learn that it is possible to gain assurance in open intelligence and to live life based on its inherent intelligence, love, and satisfaction.
By persisting in this one simple change, we see benefits from the outset. The first time we make the choice to rely on open intelligence rather than emphasizing data, we sense the power of the complete relief to be found in open intelligence. Thoughts, emotions, sensations, and all other data are simply appearing in open intelligence. Each datum follows another, appearing and resolving in open intelligence. There is no need to try to alter their flow. Like a line drawn in the sky, they leave no trace.
Just checking if anyone else wants to read in the meantime. Okay. The power of open intelligence shows us that thoughts, emotions, sensations, and experiences are simply data within open intelligence. This can be illustrated by the ways planets and stars appear within the expanse of space. Similarly, data, thoughts, emotions, sensations, and experiences appear within open intelligence. And just like space is unaffected by any event within it, open intelligence is unaffected by its data. The openness of space can be likened to our very own open intelligence. We become certain of open intelligence's power to be unaffected by data and to provide a very special kind of intelligence that shows us what to do and how to act in all situations. This means we have greater intelligence and the know-how to use that intelligence to be of benefit. Initially, we know how to use open intelligence to benefit ourselves. We empower ourselves with short moments. As we do so, unending open intelligence becomes obvious.
We rely on open intelligence and begin to relax with all the data sets of daily life. This is done by relying on short moments of open intelligence, repeated many times until it becomes continuous. By the power of this simple practice, we begin to recognize that open intelligence and data are inseparable, like the sky and the color blue.
Due to the potent benefit found in short moments, we naturally commit to open intelligence. The natural presence of open intelligence is automatically enlivened in all daily activity due to our growing familiarization and confidence. Gradually, instinctive open intelligence becomes stable and obvious.
With the power of short moments repeated many times, distraction by data is replaced with the ease, warmth, and clarity of open intelligence. We begin to live a more fulfilling and satisfying life.
As we recognize our natural state of perfection, just as it is, all effort to find open intelligence gradually increases. And open intelligence is permanent and obvious at all times. It is predominant in the natural flow of all data, and night is realized to be the natural, uninterrupted flow of all data that appear.
When short moments of open intelligence are repeated many times, recognition becomes obvious and uninterrupted. It is found to be stable in itself. Open intelligence is self-maintained amidst the flow of data. Then, if the recognition of open intelligence slips away, we simply repeat it again. Short moments repeated many times lead to spontaneous confidence in open intelligence.
Let the present datum be as it is. There is no need to modify it. There is no need to correct it. This is the key to release the tremendous energy and the powers of natural perfection. Short moments of open intelligence many times becomes obvious and continuous. Data is simply allowed to be as it is. The dynamic creativity of open intelligence that is free in its own place. Unchanging open intelligence is your vantage. It is the easy way to live. Great, thank you. Yes, it's a part of the book. So it's nice to read together, and good. We'd love to hear any questions or shares on short moments that we heard now a couple of times. The short moments, how is it going during your day? And maybe you have a question.
Hi, I have a question.
Yeah, great.
I was wondering, I think it was page 2 of the document. There was a bit on like not thinking about it. I was wondering if you might elaborate on that, and I have a second question as well. Is like, what does it mean exactly to rely on open intelligence instead of emphasizing data?
Yeah, the section there is great, I think, because so much, and we spoke about this before, I think a few meetings back, right? That so much, I don't know if that's a cultural thing but so much today seems to be intellectual, like a lot of the way we get a handle on life and, grasp on anything we want to do. We think about it, we analyze it, we dissect it, we put it back together, and all of this is fine. That's part of what our neocortex is designed to do. So that's just what it's doing. It's what made all of this possible, that we've created, that we can speak with each other from different parts in the world. So it's not that this part of our brain and our being is something bad that we shouldn't do or avoid. What the part in the text points to, however, is none of this is needed for us to recognize open intelligence. It's so immediate. Like, you are that which knows your thoughts. You are that by which you know whether you're thinking or you're not thinking. You could have crazy thoughts, you could have pristine thoughts. It's the same awareness that's aware of both. So it needs no construction whatsoever in order to be naturally present. It already is naturally present. It's the same awareness, the same intelligence that looked into the mirror when you were 5 years old, 10 years old, 20 years old, however old you are today. It's the same awareness. The picture changes, definitely. We may like that, we may not like it. What's looking is completely unaffected. So that's the part of not needing to think about any of this. if your mind is similar to mine, it can't help but think about it, and that's okay. We don't need to avoid it. But whenever we remember, we can recognize that awareness, open intelligence is at the basis of all that thinking, and relax in that spacious ease. You know, for like, I quite like philosophy and I like thinking. and as long as that's what we really want to do and enjoy doing, there is nothing wrong with it. It's the important point here is just it's not required for practice that we think about it or that we understand it. It's like whether we're a highly intelligent person or have like an average intelligence, it makes no difference for this practice. Yeah, so that's the first part. In terms of the thinking, what does it mean to rely on open intelligence? Initially, you know, it is the recognition, like you could say the conscious recognition of open intelligence, because we're so typically caught up in our thoughts, emotions, sensations. I feel this, I think this, there's like this constant focus on all the images in the mirror that we completely forget the mirror itself. So a moment of open intelligence is recognizing we're the mirror or we're the crystal ball, depending on the metaphor we're using. And not be fully absorbed in the data, just a moment of that. It could be literally the thought of that, but even more importantly, it's the instinctive sense of being that. As we grow, and that's the part of short moments many times becoming continuous, this like deliberate recognition of open intelligence, usually quite gradually, often without even recognizing it, becomes a soothing mood that underlies life. So it isn't a conscious like reshifting from the data to the space in which they arise. It's just like a natural, instinctive ease of being that weaves itself, threads itself like through a fabric, like a golden thread through a fabric. It just runs through the fabric of life. And all of life continues to do what it does. And there is like for me, it's been, what does John Oliver always say? It's been a busy week. In the same way, like my life has been really busy, but even in the busyness, without ever thinking about taking short moments of open intelligence, there is a spaciousness and an ease of being that I still can practice deliberately whenever I like. There is no end to this enjoyment of so nice. Let's just take a quick pause here. And also, even between those mini pauses, there is just that spaciousness of being. So it does become that instinctive quality of knowing ourselves as open intelligence.
Thank you. That's really helpful.
Great questions. Thank you.
I have a question about my understanding. So I'd like to describe a situation, and you tell me if this is the right way to think about it. In the short time that I've been practicing open intelligence, I realize that when I take a short moment, reality gives me as much as I can take until I can't take it anymore. And it doesn't hurt me, and I start to realize that everything that might hurt me is everything that I'm adding on top of what's already there, and it's not actually natural. And so I get as much as I can take, and then my short moment is over until the next one. And it's reality has an unending flow of bliss to give me. Is that the right way to think about this kind of?
It sounds yes, in a way, yes, totally. It is really an unending treasure trove of bliss and clarity, and it's never ending. It's not going anywhere. It's like it's a real natural resource that never ends. So in a way, yes. And then what you described as well, you're taking short moments and then they slip away. They're sort of done. And that's just like how we, just that's part of gaining confidence in open intelligence. It's actually good in a way that it slips away, because it would be contrived to hold on to something, because it's such a natural flow. It isn't something specific. Sometimes there might be more bliss and sometimes there might be nothing at all, but there's still that, I'll say it now, ease of being, even though once we say words, we like to pin it down and make it into something, but it is somehow everything. But at the same time, there is an ease of being of where these kinds of data, they don't hurt or limit us in the same way.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt, and it seems to be unlimited.
Yeah, exactly. So that's beautiful. I think, when did you hear about the short moments?
I heard about the short moments on Instagram, and I just downloaded the app maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
Right. Great. And then you just started practicing and you recognized it.
It was a powerful 2 words.
Yeah. Great. it sometimes, and that's really what is powerful, hearing these words, because it's our natural state, it can be like such an immediate relief of no more hurt and bliss and recognition, because we are so used to being so in the data that moment gives such a relief. I remember that myself, just hearing these meetings, and wow, it felt like I was in, like, it felt like a, joy of, and I could, but it settled into something really stable, but there's gaining confidence in that's an unending treasure, is an unending flow of ease of being and clarity and power and warmth of love. Sometimes open intelligence is also actually just love, but it's sometimes we are looking for a certain feeling. So then that's why we don't use that word love, because we have so many ideas about it. We feel we have to feel something.
Right. The words open intelligence is completely novel to me, and it fits so well.
Right. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great. Yes. Let's see if there are other shares or questions.
Question?
Yes. Hello, Jean.
Yeah, so this is my second meeting here. I'm just trying to make sure I understand things. So the typical mind on a day-to-day basis is thinking about all kinds of things. Wake up in the morning, I brush my teeth, get ready to go to work and think about, filling that gas in the car and all that, right? So we have all this going on. We have emotions and the plan for the day and all of that. In the midst of that, do we stop for a short moment of open intelligence? How does that, I mean, how do we do this basically? I understand we're not supposed to, or at least no need to think about it and all of that. No need to be conscious about it, but how do you, in practical term, how do you, do this practice of short moments of open intelligence?
Yes, great. Thank you. Yes, and that's just a daily life when you go about your life. Initially, it is like remembering a short moment. So you actually actively think about it and, think in a way that you say, oh, I can take a short moment here, because we're so used to just in the flow of all the data, all the thoughts and emotions, having that choice to say, okay, I recognize open intelligence, that's what's looking. Awareness, open intelligence, split second. This kind of training is helpful to do. So sometimes we are just reminded once a day, or we are reminded when we don't feel well, or we feel something is challenging. These are like reminders almost. But then the reminders might come more often, especially when we just like join meetings like that, or have it in the feed of the social media. Then these are also short reminders. Oh, we recognize open intelligence. It's like building up a muscle, basically. You repeat the training, it becomes more obvious, then it's instinctive, and then I don't think about open intelligence. I might, when, just also for like a short moment of meditation, it's nice to have a moment, but generally it's just simply the ease of being that it's automatic. Yeah, but initially it is true. Like you said, actually, there's a moment of thinking. You don't have to stop. Like sometimes we would just think about it. Maybe we're on a meeting. It's good to stay, of course, focused in the things, and it feels maybe that it's like distracting to think of a short moment. So we do it whenever we remember and whenever it flows. But at one point, you can just, like, wherever you are, there's a moment of open intelligence, and you can be still active in anything you do.
So that means just the awareness of open intelligence, even if it's just for a split second, is probably enough.
That's good. Yeah. Initially, it really feels like this awareness of open intelligence and the recognition, and that's perfect. Yeah, just do that whenever you remember.
But besides remembering and thinking about it, or do we feel something? The sense of peace, sense of oneness, the sense. I'm just curious.
Yeah, good question. And these kinds of sense, ease or peace may arise, but actually it's best not to look for it. It gives them, because then we think when it's not there that there might not be open intelligence, but it's always present. Like right now, it doesn't matter what you feel. Open intelligence is present. There's a short moment. It's just as it is with whatever's occurring now. The metaphor of the color blue in the sky is powerful. Like, see, the sky and the color blue is inseparable. You cannot ever have a sky and the color blue, so to speak. They can't be separated out. So whatever your flow of thoughts and emotions are, they are inseparable. Now, it's good to not think about it. So to just take short moments without looking how you feel is perfect for the beginning. But the soothing energy of open intelligence will just show itself.
Maybe I can also share here, Kati, from my experience. Typically, I do feel much more at ease when I'm in the recognition, you could say. But whenever I try and look for the ease, then that can become another, effort. And I can look for that one specific thing. And but what I definitely have noticed is that maybe a way of describing it is that this, like the tight grip, just it's like letting go, for just a moment, and that sense of that moment of relief, it was described in the text, that for me was really like a helpful, like almost like, or not almost, it was actually like a physical reminder to literally just relax. Like so much of my life I've been slightly tense, trying to manage my thoughts, emotions, trying to be a good person, trying to be successful, trying, and to just notice that all is well right now. Just in this moment, actually, I don't need anything. All is good. That is a moment of relief, and that can feel many different ways, but it definitely is relieving to recognize that. But then, so for me, that's been really helpful, especially in the beginning of practice, to have that like a moment of that relief. But then over time, integrating that also the recognition into moments where I don't feel that relief. I remember a specific occurrence where I felt in a lot of physical pain. My back went out and I was in pain no matter where I moved. And I did not feel at ease. I did not feel relaxed. My body was in, there spasms. And there I recognized as well, I can actually relax my mind and not, you could say, intensify the anguish, the suffering by like this mental contraction that kept occurring simultaneous to the physical pain. So there was a more spaciousness, and it's actually been helpful since to increase also the healing power of the body by bringing the mind into that more, or allowing the mind to rest naturally. But that's more of a side note. So initially it was helpful for me to have that bodily relaxation along, like as a mark, as a signpost. And then eventually we'll also see that it doesn't always have to be there. But if that's something that for now is like a good indicator for you in the beginning of practice, and that you can like drop into a moment of feeling that way, that's great, in my experience, so that you don't have to think about it. But eventually that feeling also is recognized to be another data stream, and it will be integrated as nice to have, but not necessary as a signpost.
Yeah, it's so powerful, actually. Okay, I'll do maybe Nancy, and then I'll share that more. Nancy, yes.
I'm just trying to understand. I've been practicing for a while with Jenny Landfield, and what I'm and listening. I'm still back and forth on whether I'm doing it all right or not. But my main problem is that I'm the caregiver for my 96-year-old father who has late stage dementia. So there's a lot of stress in my life. So what I try to do is just take this moment, this breath, and just take this deep breath and see, just with that exhale, just let it go, let it go, let it go, and just try to stay right in that second. And sometimes it's a very, it gives me relief, and it allows me to think better and to be aware of how to help him better. But sometimes I feel like I'm having to do it constantly, just to get to that point. And I'm assuming that's just all part of the practice, that that eventually that will ease as I get more skilled at it. But it feels like it's just this long process. And I want to make sure if that's, I'm going in the right way. And I mainly use it with him, but also just in any situation. If I'm driving, it's like, just right here, you're fine, you're okay. So is that what we're talking about mainly?
Yes, that's perfect. It's the perfect way to take a short moment. It can be helpful to just have a moment of breath as well, knowing that open intelligence doesn't care, but it is for oneself really helpful. Just having a moment of letting go of all the tension of thought and bodily tension, and a challenging circumstance too, that brings lots of emotions and challenges. So I think you're on the right track there, and recognizing open intelligence within all moments. Yeah, the natural presence, and you can see the clarity. Yeah,
it helps me. The word open intelligence and datum are a little foreign for me, and it helps me to put in my own words. And I'm assuming that's fine. I use God or the universe and the ego, for the datum, and it just makes more sense to me. And so that's what's made it more real to help me practice. So
yeah, Well, that's beautiful. I think your own words. What is beautiful to know is like all the thoughts, all the ego, are all the God, are all love, are all open intelligence. So the presence of God in the universe, and to seeing that, then suddenly, wow, there's nothing wrong with me.
Yeah.
However, I am.
I hope so.
React. Yeah. So in that way, when you use your words and you see the inseparability of everything. Yeah, I think it's perfect. That's the way to train up. It'll be more and more obvious. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you. I noticed that in challenging circumstances, just generally, I was thinking about that. Even though I might feel everything in my body and mind, still the ease of being is so much pervading, just simply by that training of short moments. Yes. And then I see TC. I see your hand. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I am practicing short moments every day. And there was a part in the text that said something about not trying to fix things.
Mm-hmm.
I have a number of, like, for one, my to-do list, there's just like so many things that, to do that I need to get done. And also there are like a number of situations in my life that are stressful, that are a result of my past, but they're ongoing, like they're still affecting me today. And like there are actions I probably need to take to deal with them. And yet, so I might, take a short moment and then have an idea, okay, take this action, but I don't actually have like the physical energy to take all of these actions that need to be taken in order to like check things off my to-do list, or to feel productive, or to feel like I'm making some sort of forward momentum in dealing with or resolving these challenging issues. And so I've just been letting myself rest, because I am in the process of healing my body from a chronic illness. So this rest and these short moments, like they really are a gift. Like it's like I'm giving myself a gift of rest that I hadn't been able to give myself for so many years. And at the same time, I feel this like sense of underlying urgency, like, well, I'm resting, but there's all these things that need to get done that aren't getting done because I'm resting. So, and it feels like I need to fix these situations or these things.
Well, thank you for sharing. Yes, I understand totally. And I think it seems like you have a really good short moment practice there. And do you see the energy that maybe not only is physical, but come about when you take short moments?
Like, do I get more energy from taking short moments? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, but not necessarily only physically, but do you recognize the benefits of a short moment for your situation?
Yes. I definitely see the benefits of taking the short moments. I wouldn't say that they give me energy though. Because I definitely do feel very tired on a daily basis. So yeah, with taking the short moments, I am allowing myself to rest, which normally over the years I would just go, and push myself. So I'm no longer doing that. I'm resting, but I still have that underlying sense of urgency, like, well, there are all these things that aren't getting done because I'm resting.
Yeah. Well, that's powerful, and obviously, yes, I think resting or taking short moments, it's really like the power to know what is of most benefit for one's own body, mind, and all circumstances, right? And I guess, like giving oneself what is needed is one part of the benefit of all. Obviously, you're resting and letting urgency be as it is too, to come to a point, to the power to know, right? That's open intelligence too, because it's not a passive state. It's not like, oh, I'm resting all the time and then I can't do what is really needed. But the urgency sometimes just gives us so much pain to act and need to do and go. And it's good to be like on the top of a mountain and see, okay, I see all the options. I see all the things I need to do, and be able to have clarity in what to prioritize, which includes one's own body and mind. What is of most benefit right now? So, and then of course the things that go on in your body, like tiredness, and being able to give oneself that rest. So short moments does mean that we rest with the way we have done things, like we feel the urgency to achieve, to fix things, to do things. At the same time, not to lose the view of what is really needed, right? Where is it of most benefit to find solutions? But it really includes your own body, mind. And Jochen, maybe you wanted to share there something too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really, that was so perfect, Kati. There's always more to be done. Like my to-do list, the more I do, the longer my list gets. And, the more we accomplish, the more we can see we could do to accomplish even more. And we can do that either in a state where we constantly feel a step behind, or we can tackle our to-do list from a place of already feeling whole and complete. So that's, the practice is a moment of recognizing, even if I don't do any of all of this, for right now, in this very moment, I am well, I am okay. I don't need to have ticked off any of these things for me to feel at peace within myself. And from that state of feeling at peace within myself, I can then choose, I like that metaphor of the mountaintop. Do I just sit here and give myself 10 minutes of just snoozing on the couch? Or do I use those 10 minutes to, do something? And, for me, I had to go through a lot of, you could say, reflecting, and the 12 empowerments that we spoke about a while back have been so helpful in that, to really get clearer on my beliefs about myself and what it means to be a good human, and what I need to do in order to be worthy of my self-love and self-compassion, and to recognize that I can give myself all these things right now. I don't need to do anything. I don't need to accomplish anything.
Ja.
Maybe that was my cue to just check if what we both shared was helpful there, in response to your question, Cecilia.
Well, I was I'm trying to understand. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, it's helpful, except for my 10 minutes of short moments. Like, it's sometimes that's like a whole day. Like, it's almost like my body is catching up to what my consciousness knows. My body is just needing extra time. And you're right, like I love the idea of doing it from a place, like tackling what's on my to-do list from a place of like, I'm already whole and complete. And yeah, I think also my capacity has just shifted. Like, I can no longer work 3 jobs. I can no longer just like work constantly and do all these things. Like, I've got to slow down, and I'm enjoying that. Yeah, I quite like what you have to share. Thank you.
Thank you. And it may just be that, I used the 10 minutes as an example, but I do remember days on the couch, even though I wasn't sick, but I just felt after a life of effort, I just felt like resting, and it felt like that was the thing to do. And then of course there is the balance always of, needing to pay our bills and doing what we need to do in life to fulfill basic commitments. And so, but again, this is more of a moment to moment integration. So I think at this stage, if the essence resonates, you can also begin to see probably already how with rest you can increasingly see moment to moment, is this a time to just rest, or is this a time to rest and be busy? Katya, I know you need to hop off to your next meeting. Me too. But shall we just keep with the same theme for next time, the integration of the practice into a busy life or something like that? Is there any topic, any specific questions you'd like us to have a think about in terms of creating texts and presentations for next time? Any wishes on your list?
Yeah, I'm curious about the origin of this practice. And are you, the two of you, originator of this, or did you learn it from somebody else? And how long have you been practicing? So just out of curiosity.
Great. We'll definitely take note of that. It is as ancient as the hills, as our teacher used to say. The practice itself. And Liam.
Two things. The request that I'd like to talk about is karma. I want to know more about it. And two, my question is this Buddhism?
Okay, great. So we'll bring that all in the next time.
Thank you.
Great question. Great. Thank you all. See you next week again.